something you said in the book and even right now, it was like, it's the awareness that you mentioned in the book, like getting angry about becoming angry. It's like anger is a natural response, but then you notice your anger and then start feeling angry that you're angry, or you're worried and then you're feeling worried about worrying. And it's kind of like the understanding that you're a human being that has these natural instincts and they're going to come up. And so instead of just being upset that you're angry, try to get ahead of it. And it reminded me, I'm not sure if you're familiar with Alan Watts, but it's kind of like, he said, it's being surprised that you're angry is kind of like being close to a fire and being surprised that you're warm and trying not to be warm. It's like, that's a response. The warmness is a response. You're not going to fight it. You just have to get ahead of it and don't go too close to the fire. And so I feel like that's similar to your approach, which is like, don't try to fight the anger away once it's there. You got to understand the steps that got you there and then try to get ahead of it. Is that fair to say?
Yeah. It's like, so the slight reframe would be like, there's a built-in assumption that being angry is wrong.
Exactly.
And that's what amplifies it. Like, I shouldn't be feeling this way, whether it be fear or anger or loss of confidence, like whatever it is that you're experiencing shouldn't be happening. And then there, the spiral snowballs. So then, yes, like understanding why you feel that way. Like, what is the nature of this fire? What is the nature of this problem? Is like kind of a mental switch that immediately puts you into problem solving mode versus like problem eliminating mode. People, by and large, like you just look at the way people solve problems. And I think my job is really just, an assistant problem solver, right? I'm a hired gun to help you work through problems. And a lot of the book is designed that way. So we look at how people typically look at problems. They see, here's the problem, and they come up with a solution. And that's a bit like trying to get rid of the weed, right? And I've got a lot of weeds in my yard, and like, you just pull it out, like sucker's going to grow back really, really quickly.
Right.
But if you actually get out the roots, then, it's gone. So by digging down to understand the full nature of it, right? The most simple question you can ask yourself, for those listening now, that can kind of change that perspective and get you problem solving better, is just to ask why. Right? You find yourself getting angry, fearful, FOMO, revengey, whatever it is, ask yourself why. Even in that moment, I mean, you may not have developed a robust strategy here yet, but sometimes just asking yourself, all right, why do I feel this way? Before you enter that trade for the third time in a row after getting stopped out in a very, by one tick, right? Ask yourself, all right, why am I so pissed off? And then write down your answer and see what you come up with. Because it's in those moments where we actually have a lot of raw data that can be utilized to help us better understand what's going on. A lot of the patterning that exists within us, especially within you as a trader, could be charted almost like price action.
Right.
And you've got these indicators, right, that you find to identify opportunities. Well, when you're like kind of writing down the raw details of what's going on in that moment and beginning to problem solve better, you're kind of gathering up the clues that will eventually turn into reliable indicators that tell you to get the F away from the screen, right? Or to utilize this strategy so you can stay trading, but from a better mental and emotional standpoint.